Abingdon, Virginia Planning Commission. Today is June the 10th, 2024. We appreciate your interest. We encourage public participation in our meeting. Your comments are important to our decision-making process. Please note that there will be two opportunities during the meeting for you to address the commission. The first will come when we ask for public comments for items not on the agenda. The second will come if there is a public hearing on the agenda and the chairman declares the public hearing open for comment. Anyone addressing the commission should approach the podium, give your first and last name, and your complete physical address. Comments must be limited to 3 minutes. Roll call.
All right, Mr. Austin?
Present.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Weaver?
Present.
Mr. Pennington?
Present.
Mr. Sproles?
Present.
Mr. Wilson?
Present.
And Mr. Schuman?
Present. Next item is approval of the minutes, regular meeting, April 22nd, 2024. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? I have one thing that it may not particularly be important, but it stuck out to me is the reference to the Planning Commission as a board, and that's throughout most of the minutes. I don't know if that matters or doesn't matter, but it, at least in semantics, I think the commission should be referred to as the commission.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody else has any issue with that, but,
We'll make sure and make that edit.
okay. With that in mind, is there a motion to approve the minutes as submitted?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. If you would call the roll, please.
Mr. Austin?
Aye.
Mr. Weaver?
Aye.
Mr. Pennington?
Aye.
Mr. Sproles?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
And Mr. Schuman?
And I'm going to abstain because I was not at the meeting.
Okay.
The next order of business is certificate of appropriateness, Andy Broyles, 703 Crum Street, Greenville, Tennessee, 37743. Owner Don Thompson, P.O. Box 211, Abingdon, Virginia 24212. Applicant, certificate of appropriateness for signage located at 329 West Main Street, parcel 011-12-1, in parentheses, staff report.
All right, so this evening you are looking at a request for approval of a certificate of appropriateness to add a wall sign onto the rear elevation of the brick-clad building and a freestanding sign onto the existing wooden freestanding structure located, as you mentioned, at 329 West Main Street. I think we've seen this building several times over the last few years. And so here's an example, both in your packet as well as on the screen, of the signage that they are looking to put. This proposed freestanding sign is made of aluminum and measures a total of 13.5 square feet. And that the colors, as you see here, will be different shades of green and gray. The sign on the back of the building, or the north elevation of the brick-clad building, is approximately 3.3 square feet. Both the freestanding sign and the wall sign meet the zoning ordinance requirements. So with that, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, I'm not sure if the applicant is here or not, but if they are and you would like to come up and say anything at the podium, you're more than welcome.
Any questions for Ms. Rice? Is there a motion from the commission?
Well, really, I don't have any issue with the sign at all, but it would be nice if the building owner would paint that background before they install a new sign, because it's beginning to look pretty rough.
Do you want to add that as a condition to your motion? I mean, we can.
Yeah, it wouldn't take 10 minutes to paint it, so.
Okay.
With that in mind, I move that we approve the sign that's submitted with the amendment that the background be painted.
Okay. And do you want to specify a color, a gray or?
No, it could be painted the color that it is now, or
Okay.
it was originally.
Okay, is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Wilson seconded. Call the roll.
Mr. Austin,
Aye.
Mr. Weaver,
Aye.
Mr. Pennington,
Aye.
Mr. Sproles,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
and Mr. Schuman.
Aye. Next order of business is certificate of appropriateness, Ann Shipley, 18109 Overlook Drive, Abingdon, Virginia, 24210. Applicant owner, certificate of appropriateness for signage located at 604 West Main Street, parcel 018-15-26 in parentheses. Staff report.
Okay. As you mentioned, this is a certificate of appropriateness for wall sign on the primary or north elevation of the brick-clad building located at 604 West Main Street. The background is that this building is occupied by Pure Health Nutrition and Wellness. There's currently no existing signage for the business, so this will be new signage. The applicant is proposing to install a circular wall sign on the primary north elevation of the brick-clad building above the black standing seam shed awning. The proposed sign is metal with a green and blue background and white lettering. The length of the building occupied by this business is 17 linear feet, and that allows for 34 square feet of wall signage. The circular sign will measure 42.875 inches in diameter with an area of only 10 square feet. So it actually meets the allowed 34 square feet of wall signage. The applicant also proposes to add an adhesive back vinyl decal to the front and rear door of the building. That signage is considered window signage, and as you all know, you adopted a code that says it has to be less than 10% of the window, and so that window signage also meets the requirements. So both items meet the requirements, and if you have any questions for me, I can answer them. If not, if there's a representative from this business, you are more than welcome to come up and say anything if you.
If you have questions.
Okay.
Anybody have any questions? What's the pleasure of the commission? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve this presented.
Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded. Do call the roll.
Mr. Austin.
Aye.
Mr. Weaver.
Aye.
Mr. Pennington.
Aye.
Mr. Sproles.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
And Mr. Schuman.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right. The next order of business, certificate of appropriateness, Wayne Hyder, 18207 Westwood Drive, Abingdon, Virginia, 24211. Owner Aaron Trent, 13174 Lindale Road, Meadowview, Virginia, 24361. Applicant, certificate of appropriateness for handicapped access ramp located at 418 West Main Street, parcel 019-1-25 in parentheses. Staff report.
All right, as you mentioned, it's a certificate of appropriateness to add a handicap ramp at 418 West Main Street. This project came to us with a stop work order because they had gotten started a little early. This business is occupied by Wolf Hills Tax and Insurance, and so they would like to build this handicap ramp in this location. They've submitted this certificate of appropriateness, and I won't go through all the details. It does meet the building code for what a handicap ramp would need to be. However, no building permit has been submitted at this time. So if you all approve it tonight, they will then have to go through the building permit process with the Community Development Department. The ramp decking will match that of the existing full-length front porch. So as you can see here in the image, it's a wooden front porch, so they will have a wooden surface on this ramp. Obviously, this section here that has the current porch railing will be removed in order to allow access up to the porch. The pickets are going to match the existing front porch as well. So you can ask me any questions you might. I don't know if somebody's the applicant. All right, if you want to come up and talk a little bit about it, you're more than welcome to.
You pretty much hit all the points.
Oh.
I can answer any questions you have.
Okay.
Are there questions, concerns? If not, is there
So
a
the-
motion?
I do have a question. The pickets are wooden and will be painted, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Would you like me to come up?
That would be good, just so you get it on the record here.
Hey, my name is Ethan Trent. Aaron Trent is my father. He's the owner of this. Yeah, to answer your question, yes, we're gonna paint it the exact same as the building. The reason we wanna put it in is because we sell Medicare insurance, so a lot of our people that we insure are senior citizens and have trouble getting up and down those 3 steps that are in the front. It's not pictured in that, but there's 3 steep steps that we've had people have trouble getting up and down of in the past.
Additional questions?
And
If
did
not,
did you say that they were wooden? Because I think that was the question that you asked. They will be wooden?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What is the pleasure of the commission? I guess in the motion, should we specify that a building permit is required?
You can if you want. I would definitely suggest, as Mr. Austin pointed out, that you say that it will be painted white, pickets, and wooden, so that we don't get something else that comes in, and then also the building permit.
I move that we approve it with the white pickets that are painted in accordance with the existing pickets that are there, and that a building permit be obtained.
I'll second.
All right, moved and seconded. Call the roll.
Mr. Austin?
Aye.
Mr. Weaver?
Aye.
Mr. Pennington?
Aye.
Mr. Sproles?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
And Mr. Schuman?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right. The next order of business is a special use permit, Skyline National Bank applicant, Patrick and Patricia Caleb's owners, special use permit for a financial institution in the Old Historic District located at 201 West Main Street, Abingdon, Virginia, 24210, parentheses, tax map 012-1-73, in parentheses, staff report.
Okay, as you mentioned, it's Skyline National Bank is the applicant, and they need to have a special use permit to have a financial institution in the Old and Historic District, Sub-District 1. It's really kind of interesting because we actually had a town forum not too long ago where somebody actually addressed the town council and said, what is happening in the historic district as far as homes being converted into businesses. And so I informed the town council at the next meeting that in fact we do have an ordinance that requires a person to come through the planning commission in order to allow a structure to be converted to a business, if it could be possibly a home. This one's a little bit interesting because, even though it is a historic home built in 1924, it has already been converted from a residential structure into a commercial business. So it's, from a standpoint of land use, it really has already gone through the process. However, the zoning ordinance specifically requires financial institutions to go through a special use permit in the historic district. So you all are looking at it tonight mainly from that perspective. This current building was converted to commercial use in 1994 into a realty office. So the proposed office space will share this space within the building. The minimum off-street parking requires 1 parking space per 500 square feet of floor, and so the existing parking on this parcel does meet those requirements. This does have to go, if you all recommend approval, this does have to go to the town council to be approved for a special use permit. And the applicant will go before the Historic Preservation Review Board for the approval of their signage. So that, just for anyone who's listening or in the audience, it might seem like a bit of a convoluted way, but Planning Commission deals with land use, and then the HPRB deals with how something looks. So they will approve the use, or the town council will approve the use if they recommend approval, and then you'll go to signage to the HPRB. So a few steps to the process, but again, this use works in this existing space. And so if you have any questions for the applicant, she's here to answer them.
Are there any questions for the applicant? I would note that there are financial institutions in the block east of where this is being requested on Main Street. So those businesses do exist, whether they're mortgages or financial managers or lawyers. But, so this isn't out of the ordinary.
And I would say that we honestly have had, I think, a few businesses in the last 3 years since I've been here actually convert from businesses to homes. So we've actually had more, I think, go that direction than the opposite.
Right.
And that's obviously the purpose of the ordinance, is to keep a good balance and not lose the historical homes.
Is there a motion regarding the special use permit?
I'll make a motion that we approve the special permit as presented with the conditions that goes on through town council and the historic preservation for signage.
All right, thank you. Is there a second to that?
I'll second.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. If you would call the roll.
Mr. Austin?
Aye.
Mr. Weaver?
Aye.
Mr. Pennington?
Aye.
Mr. Sproles?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
And Mr. Schuman?
Aye. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess the next old business matters not on the agenda. We will have a meeting on the 24th, is that correct?
That is correct. We do have at least one more item for that. There's one other thing that I wanted to discuss with you all, and that is that, as you know, we haven't really been able to see into this parking lot for quite some time where Delta Blues is coming in. And it wasn't really part of their original design that you all looked at. I mean, it's been like 2 years now, I know, but, you know, we looked at the pergola, we looked at the archways, we've looked at a lot of different pieces here, but there is an actual stage that has been built here. So my question tonight, you know, there is a part of the code that says basically the zoning administrator can say if something's not, if something's really not part of the entrance corridor, or won't change the character of the entrance corridor, we could do it as a waiver. I just wanted to ask you all tonight if you think I need to have them come in and go through this and have you all approve it through, you know, through an actual COA, or if you think that this is, doesn't really change the character of the area.
So back up one photograph.
Yeah, I'll look at this one.
That's the stage.
That's the stage. I think I got one more picture of it here.
Well, if it's more than 20 inches above grade, it requires a railing.
It will require a railing, you are correct.
What size is it?
It is about, I think they said it was about 20 by 14 is what they had told us. But yes, and so again, we did the same thing, you know, it's gonna have to go through the building permitting process and all of that. And yes, get the railing and everything, but this parking lot was pretty closed off for about a year. I don't think we could see in at all, and then we saw this.
And this is an intended stage for?
They are intending to use this stage for outdoor music. So, what's interesting is I think we've for a long time wanted a lot more options for outdoor music, and now suddenly we're getting them with outdoor music, and then the Boneyard, which is the backside of the Bonefire, is also going to have outdoor music. So we definitely, you know, it kind of ebbs and flows which end of town is growing, but based on our discussion with them, we started a new process which we call a business concierge. So when somebody comes in to talk to us, instead of them running upstairs to talk to one person about a business license and running downstairs we actually bring them all, we bring us all together as staff, and then we meet with them, and then we can tell them about meals tax and signage and all of that. And so when we brought them, they turned in their property verification form finally. We brought them in and they said, oh, we're gonna do outdoor music on a stage, and I was like, oh, don't think we've approved a stage yet. So I just, it really is coming before you tonight because as part of the ordinance, I can ask questions like this as the zoning administrator to see if you all think this is basically innocuous enough that it doesn't change the character of the district, or if you would like me to bring them in for a full COA.
The question I have is, on the back of Bonefire,
Mhm.
that's their parking lot.
Correct.
Is this their parking lot, or is this gonna be part of the public parking lot?
No, this is actually their parking lot. So the dividing line is the vegetative median that is between the town's parking lot and this parking lot. So yes, this will 100%.
So it's marked off, you're not gonna have
Correct.
an overflow into the,
I am guessing that we will always have an overflow when if all of these businesses are successful, there'll be an overflow of parking into the town's parking. However, it is designated as two different locations, and as you probably noticed out back here, we installed signs after none of staff could get in to park
Yeah.
when the barter shows were in, so we installed signage. If we get to a point in which the visitor center cannot, doesn't have parking, we will install signs that say Town of Abington only. I think last year, you all remember, we did a big parking study with the students from Emory Henry, and, they found that most of the parking there was a lot of vacant lots, and so one of our ideas is actually to bring in a parking company to talk to parking lots, or owners of parking lots, to see if they'd like to put in like some paid parking, because really it's the only kind of way to control parking in the future. But we haven't established a true relationship yet here with the two sides of parking, because this hasn't been open yet. And I think this is gonna be your largest driver in that business, or in that building.
I think if they're supposed to come in, they should just go through the
Okay.
motions so that the next guy, it's not like, well, you didn't make them
Sure.
come in.
and I tell you, I agree with that because,
Okay.
I guess she's 2 doors down here, the lady that wanted to do the event thing, had the bus, and was told she really couldn't do that. It probably would be wise just to, just to have it on record so
Sure.
that if somebody else comes in and wants to do something like that, it would be on record that, I'm supportive of it, but I think it would be wise just to make sure that it goes through all the process.
Okay.
Will they be able to continue with construction awaiting that? Because I'd
They-
like to see the railing and things like that when we approve or disapprove.
I'm gonna say that I would not probably have them continue as far as putting up the railing at this point. I'd wait till you all saw it so that you could make a determination on what the railing looks like. But they are still working on the inside, so they're not at a point where they're ready to have a music event out here. But yes, that does push them a couple weeks out here, and I just wanted to make sure that hopefully they're open. I'm not sure if they're trying to get open for the 4th of July or mid-July, but, I just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page. So, since we had an additional meeting, I thought I'd ask the question, and we'll get them in at the next one.
Because I think it's a good idea. It puts people there and they'll go to the commons and so forth, so it seems like a good thing to me. But I do agree that it would be wise just to,
Okay,
in
absolutely.
case we have other inquiries.
I agree.
Anything else? Anybody have anything else to come before the commission?
I move we adjourn. That's my thing.
So
Second.
Michael's moved to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Yes, Scott seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're adjourned.